Hello everyone. Let's see what is RDD repartition and coalesce is. What is the basic difference between these two and how we use it. So let's search for PySpark RDD repartition. As the term says, let's open the first one. As the term says, repartition means we are partitioning this again. So it can increase and decrease the number of partitions in an RDD, as this written here as well, can increase or decrease the level of parallelism in this RDD. So if we have a RDD of some number of partitions, we can maybe increase or decrease. We can do both with this function, which is repartition we have. And for that, we can try this code also. So let's paste it here, and we will be importing PySpark. For that, let's import find Spark, and then find spark.init. Now we have it. So we have to use a Spark context. So let's import Spark context from PySpark. Now for this, we need the Spark context variable sc. So sc equals to, let's write Spark context. And here we can give it a local, and we can pass 3. Basically, whenever RDD will be created, it will have by default of 3 partitions. And next is the app name which we can give, and let's give it a app name of partition examples. Now let's create this RDD, and we are passing this argument as 4, so it will have total number of 4 partitions. We have a function called getNumPartitions, which can give the number of partitions in this. So sc.parallelize has created a RDD. Now let's use a collect function. Let's increase the one more element as 8. So collect will give us all the elements, all the items of the RDD. It will not show us which item is in which partition. We can use something called gloom, and gloom will let us see the elements, which element is present in which partition. So currently we have 4 partitions, so we have 4 partitions, as we can see here also. So as repartition can increase or decrease the number of partitions, and since we have initially 4 partitions, that decreases to 2, and we try to increase the partitions. So currently we have 2 partitions here, and let's repartition to increase the number of partitions to 4. So let's see what is happening. Usually it increases the number of partitions, but it leaves some partitions blank also. As you can see, the first partition is blank, third partition is also blank. Increase it to 8, it will create 8 partitions, as you can see, but most of the list partitions are blank, so it is not that effective, but it can increase and decrease both. So that's the plus point it has. Another we have is coalesce, and the difference is it can only decrease the number of partitions, it cannot increase the number of partitions, and it is more efficient as compared to repartition, but it has only one limitation, that it can only decrease the number of partitions. So here is coalesce, and this is used for decreasing the number of partitions. Let's use the same code, and here let's increase the by default the initial number of partitions to 8. Having the number of partitions as 8 will make every element in one partition. If we decrease the number of partitions using coalesce, let's make it to 2 partitions. So we have 2 partitions now. Initial 4 elements in the first partition, next 4 in the second partition. We can decrease it again. Let's suppose we want to make it from 8 to 4, then we'll have 2 elements in each partition. Coalesce cannot increase the number of partitions, and if we want to increase, let's make it 4 to 8. So if we have initial number of partitions 4 and we want to make it 8, it will not happen. It will stay on the number of partitions as 4 only, and it will just ignore the coalesce operation. So we can decrease the number of partitions here, and in the repartition we can increase and decrease both. So this is the basic difference between these two. Repartition is not that efficient, but it has more capability in terms of increasing and decreasing both. And coalesce is more efficient, but it can only decrease, and it cannot increase the number of partitions. With this, you may have got some basic understanding on the difference between the coalesce and repartition.